What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim. Today we're going to be doing a product review of Gamegenic official Marvel card sleeves. As you can see here, we've got some beautiful artwork on these sleeves. Gamegenic was nice enough to send me a sample pack of these sleeves. We're actually live on Twitch right now. I am going to be giving away all of the packs except for one, which we are going to be reviewing. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're missing out. The show is live on Twitch, twitch.tv/TrickyJim. Definitely make sure to check out the Twitch channel. We stream live Pokemon trading card game content every single weekday. So these are some really cool sleeves if you're into, the Marvel universe. They are officially licensed art sleeves, which is really cool. We got the Hulk, we got Black Panther, Spider-Man, Captain America, and the works, right? So definitely into these. You can't use these at official Pokemon tournaments, so that should be noted, because you can only use blank sleeves or official Pokemon art sleeves at official Pokemon tournaments, but they are perfect for casual play or any sort of board games or things like that. And you could also use them for Magic the Gathering or any other kind of card game where you have cards that are the same size as your Pokemon trading cards. Now, Gamegenic was also nice enough to send me this really cool 24 pocket zip up album. I'm actually really excited about this. They contacted me and said, hey, we'd like you to review some of our Marvel sleeves. And I was like, hey, well, you know what? I'm actually super into binders. So I really love that 4-pocket binder you got on your website. Would you mind shipping me one of those so I could talk about that on camera? And they were like, yeah, no problem. So we're going to be reviewing this as well. I really like these, these wide binders for showing off like complete sets. I do have a complete set of Rocket. So I was going to put that into this binder during the review as well and see how it looks and just check out the overall quality and build of this Gamegenic zip up 24 pocket binder that we have. So let's get it rocking here. I'm going to use, I think, this one, since I do have doubles of this for the review of the sleeves. And the only deck that I still have put together in real life is the last deck that I played in a paper tournament. That was back in March, I believe, the beginning of March, or was it the end of February? The Collinsville Regional Championships. So that was Snorlax VMAX. Now let's see, it comes with one clear sleeve, as we see there, and 50 sleeves. And right off the bats, I could tell these are kind of like a glossy build of the sleeves. The backs are matte, but the fronts are definitely glossy. So let's go ahead and get our cards into the sleeves and see how they shuffle. Now, the sleeves do feel like they are of a pretty nice quality. I'm trying to imagine what they're going to be like, with a lot of shuffling and wear and tear, since, the backs being the, kind of the art sleeve, right? I'm hoping that they don't scuff too much or anything like that, and that the art stays nice on them. That would be ideal. I do feel like these sleeves would probably be best suited for something like a board game. If you have some sort of board game where you have like a side deck or something like that, it's just like a really pretty art sleeve for something like a board game. And my initial impression of the sleeves, I was a little bit worried at first that they might feel similar to Elite Trainer box sleeves, right? You're like trying to categorize them, like, okay, do these feel most to me like Ultra Pro mats? They don't feel a lot like Ultra Pros. Do they feel like Dragon Shields? They don't feel quite like Dragon Shields. I think that's the closest point of comparison that I have right now, just as I kind of have them in my hands initially, is that they do kind of feel like the Trainer's Toolkit sleeves, which were like a different Pokemon sleeve altogether. The Trainer Toolkit sleeves did shuffle very well compared to the Elite Trainer box sleeves. However, the Trainer Toolkit sleeves did not last very long. So I'm going to give these a nice, bit of shuffling here on stream, just so that I can kind of get an impression as to whether or not they would last during something like tournament play, or that they would last during during some extended casual tabletop play, since if you're playing Pokemon cards, you're probably going to be using them for casual tabletop play, since you can't actually use them in official Pokemon tournaments. But like I said, I think they would go great in something like a board game, since the art is very pretty on the sleeves. And as you can kind of see, I mean, the artwork is beautiful on these, and it does look, fantastic as far as the the backs of the cards go there. So I definitely like that. As far as the overall quality of the sleeves all do look uniform. I'm not noticing any huge discrepancies between the not noticing any huge discrepancies between the backs of the sleeves kind of initially there. So that's a good sign as well. When we get all of these sleeved up, this is going to be 50 cards put into sleeves. I will go ahead and take a look at the deck and kind of take a look and make sure that the cut of the sleeves is even as well. It's another important thing when you're checking out the quality of sleeves, making sure that the cut is even, because sometimes the cut is not even, which can actually create some marked card scenarios. So we definitely don't want that. I'm going to zoom in the camera a little bit so we could take a closer look at the deck. Now, taking a look at the deck, just straight down, we're going to see, do the edges of the sleeve look even? And they do. I have to say, I don't see, a lot of discrepancy there between the sides. It looks pretty even to me. You're not seeing any, sleeves kind of jutting out there on the sides, which is good. That definitely is a good sign and exactly what you want from your sleeves. So that checks out. And then we're going to take a look at the backs too, just make sure that, I'm not missing anything with the backs of the sleeves, that they all look nice and even as well. Now, something with art sleeves that you do have to look out for is just making sure that the corners don't peel either, because the art is kind of printed onto the back of the sleeve. So making sure that the corners don't peel is also a really big deal. That's something that I've noticed with some art sleeves in the past that I have used. So they feel good. My initial impression is that they are not super they're not super glidey. Like if you sleeve up a brand new deck in Ultra Pros or something like that, or sometimes even Dragon Shields, they can they'll like glide off the table, right? They'll just and then your cards are all over the top of the table. So I'm noticing just kind of the deck does stick together, which is good. So we're going to start off with some overhands and just kind of see. I am noticing that the overhand shuffle does not glide flawlessly, right? I'm feeling some corners, catching a little bit as I'm going, which is a little bit familiar feeling to me. It's a little bit of a familiar feeling to me if you've ever used, kind of Elite Trainer box sleeves or sleeves like that. The corners are not just perfectly gliding in, so I am concerned that by overhanding, that maybe the corners would start to ding and so on and so forth, because it's not a perfectly smooth overhand. So we're gonna try some riffles as well. There we go. The riffle does feel pretty good, and I have to say that the riffle feels far better than the overhand with these sleeves, and the riffle actually feels flawless. Very strong riffle feeling there. I feel like my thumb has a really nice time gripping the edges of the deck, and that I'm getting just a really nice shuffle from the riffle. So right out the bag, they are definitely riffling very nicely, and the overhand, I think, is just fine. I wouldn't say that the overhand is buttery smooth. You're not getting any sort of, katana overhand from these sleeves. You're not getting any sort of super glidey overhand, but the riffle is nice. So if you're into riffle shuffling your sleeves, then I think that these are probably, I would even say that riffling would be the optimal way to shuffle sleeves like this, because you are going to be protecting the corners. And like I said, my biggest concern usually with art sleeves is that you're going to ding the corners. And the easiest way to ding the corners is by doing overhand, because you're trying to jam those corners into the rest of the deck. So I would say if you're trying to really protect the the sleeve, more so than your cards. Obviously, riffling has its own kind of effect on your cards. But if you're really trying to protect the art sleeve, riffling them is going to be the softest on the corners, and going to probably preserve your sleeves for the longest amount of time. So I'm not noticing any really dinged up corners so far, so I'm really going to try and go in here with the overhands and just be a little bit more aggressive with the overhands. Before I was kind of playing soft, right? But here I'm like really kind of jamming the shuffle, just making sure that we give it the full experience of the overhand. I'm not trying to spare the corners at all. I'm actually noticing that as I give the cards more push, as I give it more effort, the overhand is actually going way smoother. You can notice that I'm not catching or anything now as I'm really kind of putting forth more effort into the overhand shuffle. The overhand shuffle is going much smoother now that I am trying harder, and now that I'm not worried about the sleeves as much than it was earlier. So let's take a look at those corners again. That was a decent amount of overhand shuffling there, with exuding quite a bit of force on the sleeves. And I still am not noticing any dinged corners. We checked those bottom left corners there. There's not really any dog-eared corners, which is that's a really nice sign so far. Now, for the purpose of this review, I'm not going to be able to shuffle these sleeves for hours and hours, but my initial impression is that the corners aren't dog-earing, the backs of the cards are not scratching, and they generally just look very pretty. So these are some very pretty sleeves, and the corners seem to be holding up okay. And they don't have the most buttery overhand shuffle in the world, but they do have a decent overhand shuffle. If you put forth, you saw there, they didn't just glide in, right? But if you put forth enough effort into the overhand shuffle, they will cooperate. And I think that if you are really a fan of the Marvel universe, and you're really a fan of the the Marvel characters, that you probably can't go wrong with these sleeves. So those are nice. And as far as the glare goes, we'll zoom out a little bit, take a look at the picture on the sleeve. That's another big thing you want to check out. So, what does the art on your cards actually look like in the sleeves? And we can see that they are of a glossy build. So the picture is very clear, but you can tell in the light they definitely are glossy sleeves, but that kind of creates more vibrant colors on the cards. So you kind of, you get more vibrant colors, but then obviously there is more reflection in the light. That shouldn't really matter, since you're probably not going to be using these for tournament play. It's not like you're going to be under, the bright lights of the cameras when you're playing with these. So the idea of having glossy versus matte probably not going to be the biggest thing ever for these sleeves in particular. So I'd have to say, I think that I'm pleasantly surprised by the quality of these sleeves. I think they feel pretty solid, and if you're into Marvel characters, I don't think that you can go terribly wrong with these sleeves. They're definitely very pretty. Now, if you're watching live on Twitch, as I said, we're going to be giving away 3 packs of 3 of the Marvel sleeves. So just wait tight until after the review, and we are going to be drawing our winners for that. So thank you to everybody who is here watching the review live on Twitch. And up next, I am going to be busting out that 24 pocket binder that Gamegenic was nice enough to send me, and we're going to be doing a quick review of that as well. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at this big ol' Gamegenic 24 pocket zip up album binder. Now, I asked for this specifically from their website, and they were nice enough to send it to me because it looked really cool, and I love big 24 pocket binders. You don't actually see a ton of these around, especially in zip up fashion, and for someone who collects complete sets, I think a 24 pocket binder can be very valuable. So let's go ahead over to the top down cam and see what we got here with this Gamegenic zip up album. It is, first of all, nicely packaged, I have to say. And this is a really vibrant, cool green color. My initial impression from the binder is that the fabric feels very nice. It feels like a super high quality portfolio not like a cheap, plasticky binder. It's got a very nice feel to it, and then it's got this zipper as well, so we can go ahead and unzip the portfolio, and look at that. Wow, the green reminds me of like Mountain Dew. It's just such a vibrant green there. And let's take a look at the inside. The inside feels velvety. Man, my goodness. That is very nice feeling, I have to say. The velvet interior of trading card game products always gets me excited. That's cool. And the pockets, as we can see, are plastic, and they've got the kind of braided divider between each of the pockets. The pages do feel lightweight. They're not a heavy stock, so they're definitely like a lighter page material. It's not super heavy duty like a monster binder or something like that, but I have noticed with monster binders that monster binders can actually damage your cards because of how heavyweight the pages are, and especially the kind of perforated backs of the monster binders will actually leave a perforated indent on the backs of your cards. So I haven't been super into monster binders lately, which is why I'm kind of on the hunt for a new binder to keep my some of my most prized collection. So as we see here, I do have another 4-pocket binder, so I'm going to be kind of inputting my first edition Rocket complete set, which is sleeved in perfect fit sleeves, into this binder just to see how they fit. So that is what we've got on the agenda, so bear with me while we get some of these put in, and then we're going to give it a good old shake test to see if the cards stay in place. Now, I will sleeve, I think, a bunch of these in the binder, which are kind of single sleeved, and then I do want to put a couple cards in thicker sleeves like the sleeves that we have here, and then see if those stay put as well, or if they stay put better. And then I do want to put some unsleeved cards in the binder too, and that way I can kind of give a full assessment of the binder, cards that are perfect fit sleeved, cards that are double sleeved in a thicker sleeve like these, and then cards that are not sleeved at all, and we'll be able to see how the binder kind of presents and how it holds those cards in depending on what kind of sleeve we have. We are noticing there's plenty of room in each of the pockets for each of these cards, so there's definitely enough space in this binder for a double sleeved card, which is cool, right? That definitely is attractive. Like I said, with like monster binders, the pockets are a little bit tighter, so they will hold your card in very snug, but at the cost of potentially damaging your card. So I don't mind a little bit of a looser fit to each of the pockets, because then it theoretically should make it, I think, tougher for your card to get damaged, because it's not going to be inflicting any sort of edge wear on your card, and not going to be really gripping it to the back of the pocket super heavily. So I think that is a plus as well in my eyes. Now I think that the zip up that we have here is also really big, and that's something that I was definitely looking for in a 24 pocket binder, because as we saw here, with this binder that I did have my Rocket collection in, like, imagine putting this into a book bag or something like that. I think that makes me incredibly nervous. We've got a lot of cards in this binder that I want to keep nice, and the fact that there was nothing keeping this binder from opening in a book bag or something like that just made me nervous. So I was definitely on the lookout for a binder which had a zip up function, or at least a strap. I mean, a zip up function is ideal. And we can see here something else that I think is really important is that there is plenty of space between the edge of the pages and the zipper as well. So the zipper edge of the binder is not really going to be damaging the cards that are on the edge there, which is also really important. So stoked about that. And thank you so much, Kyle9128, for that Tier 1 sub. Appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. We'll just do these pages here with the single sleeve perfect fit, and then the next page I will put some double sleeved cards, and we're going to see if those fit better or worse. I do want to make sure that we get kind of a varied test. So let's do. Let's see, do I got some dragon shields around here? No dragon shields. These will work fine though. These will work fine for double sleeves. They fit well. Yeah, that's cool. So we'll do these guys for our double sleeves. I will say that it does feel like probably the pockets on these are better suited for a double sleeved card. So if you're into double sleeving your collection, then I think that these pockets are definitely, you know, capable of fitting a double sleeved cards. And but something to note with a double sleeved card is that is going to make your page thicker overall. So it will really kind of, you know, puff up the width of the binder if all of your cards are double sleeved. So that would be something worth, you know, testing out, just seeing how does the whole binder kind of feel with all of the cards just single sleeved, and then does the binder feel too terribly puffy if they are all double sleeved. But that's not really something that the build of the binder can, you know, it is what it is. You know the spine of the binder is only so thick. So it does appear that this spine, though, on this binder, if we just take a look, does feel like it has like a relatively wide spine, which should kind of help with the overall, should help with like kind of decreasing the puffiness feeling of the binder, since it does look like that spine can, you know, can expand pretty far. So that does look pretty nice as well. And I have to say, I would definitely feel comfortable keeping my first edition Rocket set in this binder. It feels like a nice solid binder. I mean, even just compared to this one that I have now or other binders that I've owned. Like I said, I've used a lot of different kinds of binders. Ultra Pro portfolios with a strap. I think that's probably the closest point of comparison that I can have for the interior of this. If you have used an Ultra Pro, you know, portfolio, the ones that have the strap, you know, that keep the binder shut, I think the interior of this binder is almost exactly the same as that. But the build on the outside is just far superior, I think, to that. So that's something as well to note. So we've got all of our cards in the front two pages, single perfect fit sleeved, and then we've got these guys in double sleeves. I suspect that these guys that are in the double sleeves are going to be not going to kind of move around as much in the binder. And then I do want to do some guys that are just not sleeved at all. So we're going to take these guys out of the sleeves just for this page, and you guys are going to hate me for this. Maybe this is something that I didn't quite plan for as I'm going to do the final part of the binder review. But the final part of the, you know, I'm using my first edition Rocket set here because this is the set that I actually want to keep in the binder. But we're gonna give it the backpack test. The backpack test is we're gonna shake the binder around, and I've got a first edition Dark Charizard in here. So like, you know, maybe I shouldn't be shaking around my first edition Dark Charizard. You know, maybe we shouldn't do that. But yeah, it's for science, chat. It's for science. So that's fine. Where's the bulk energies? Use bulk energies. No. That would be not nearly as interesting. Well, we trust the binder, right, chat? We trust the binder. The binder is going to take care of it. Just take it out. Just take the Dark Charizard out. These are just commons. I can unsleeve these guys. They're fine. They're just the first edition commons. That's fine. It was intentional that it was intentional that we were going to do no sleeves on the commons. Okay, that was by design, and you know, we're keeping the hollow sleeved, and then you know, that I'm not worried about the Charizard, Chad. Charizard's gonna be fine. What's the worst thing that could happen to the Charizard? It might move around in the sleeve a little bit. There's no chance that that anything too terrible is going to happen to it. The binder is going to be zipped up, and we're going to give it the backpack test. Okay, here are the cards we have in the binder so far, just a review. This is where I would like to stow my complete first edition Rocket set, as well as some other goodies. We've got the perfect sleeve only cards, we've got the double sleeved cards, and we've got the no sleeved cards. And now we're going to give this guy the backpack test. He's a couple of good bangs on the table. All right, Chad, here we go. All right. Let's see how we do, Chad. All right, taking a look. After a lot of turbulence, okay? After, I would consider that an excessive amount of turbulence, I think we can all at least breathe easy. At least the cards are all still in their respective sleeves. You can see that they did move around, okay? They did move around a little bit, and that's to be expected. I think these are all, you know, single sleeved, and we were just completely irresponsible with our binder. I mean, that was absurd. I mean, even in a backpack, you're not going to get nearly that much movement. We did get a little bit of movement here with just the single sleeved perfect fits, but overall, no damage came to the cards. So I think we're still in good shape there. So not terribly worried about that. I do think that these pockets are big enough that that you would probably be totally fine double sleeving the cards that go in here. So let's take a look and see how the double sleeved cards did. Now the double sleeved actually look, you could tell they are just in way better position than our single perfect fit sleeves. These guys have barely moved around at all. So I think that the pockets here probably designed for a thicker profile sleeve. Like I said, the pockets are a little bit larger, so a thicker profile sleeve would be totally fine in here. If you've got your cards in a dragon shield sleeve or something like that, these have stayed just perfectly, perfectly in place. So happy to see that, and these guys look good. And then moving over, yeah, as you can see, these guys that are not in sleeves have had some movement. The cards that were not sleeved, this Machop has almost completely moved over into the next pocket. That's to be expected. I think that if you really want your cards to stay snug and stay put, you should put them in a sleeve and then put them into your binder. But also worth noting that they didn't actually get damaged in any kind of way, and they're still fine, despite the turbulence that this binder just experienced. They are still in their respective pockets. So I'd say that with this binder in particular, the double sleeve definitely is going to keep your cards most snug. Single sleeve will do just fine. And overall, very happy. I would say that the binder did pass the turbulence test, did pass the backpack test, right? And I do think that the zipper feels of a very nice construction. I wouldn't be worried about the zipper breaking or anything like that. I think that the cover also feels nice and padded. Something that usually worries me with a binder is that you usually want to put your nicest cards on the front page, but with some binders, I feel very concerned that the front page will get damaged. It feels like there is plenty of space that if you actually take a look, it feels like the binding is actually wide enough on this binder that you can keep your cards on the front page and not actually worry about them getting damaged. And then this nice velvet cover here is very soft. It does feel like the cover is nice and padded as well. It's got a nice padding to it that I'm not even concerned about keeping some of my nicest cards on the front page with this particular binder. So For me personally, I think I will be transitioning my first edition rocket set into this beautiful 24 pocket binder from Gamegenic. So big thanks again to Gamegenic for sending me these products to review. Definitely a fan of the 24 pocket binder. And then of course we did do our sleeve review as well. So thanks again to Gamegenic for sending me these products. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the review. Make sure to check out the Twitch stream if you have not already, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where I stream live Pokemon trading card game content every single weekday. And I'm going to leave links to these products in the description below in case you're interested in checking them out for yourselves. That's it. Y'all take it easy and have a great day. Peace.